Well, today I want to talk about something a little bit serious. The #1 killer of trees and plants in the United States. It's not the ash borer, it's not the birch borer, it's not, people running them over with cars. What kills more trees and plants than anything is watering. And I've heard all the excuses. Every June and July, when it stops raining, my phone starts ringing and people say,
"There's something wrong with my trees. The leaves are drooping, they're falling off. What's the problem?"
And I say, "Well, have you watered?"
It rained last week.
When it's hot out, a large tree can use up to 100 gallons of water a day. You're going out there with the water and going like this, it's just like spitting on it. It does absolutely nothing. So I want to show you how to water a tree today, and I want to show you some of the signs of lack of water. Now right here you can see this tree. This is a Coosa dogwood, and you can see the leaves are drooping. One of the things the tree does to defend itself in the summer is it will let the leaves come down a little bit so it has less surface area and less evaporation. But when you see the leaves drying out on a tree, it means it hasn't been watered. And the way you water, because especially new trees, they have large balls and the irrigation system will not water them. Let me repeat that. Irrigation will not water them. If I gave this tree enough water to go down 3 or 4 feet and water the ball, you'd have a boat in your basement. Okay, so let me show you the proper way of water. First of all you do is you take your hand and put it in the soil. And you see if the soil's wet or dry. You feel the ball. If the ball's dry, you take the hose and you put it on slow. And you just let it sit on the top of the ball for a few minutes and let the water soak in. You don't need to do it very long, 2 or 3 minutes, 5 at most, and that'll water that plant. Even established plants that have been in the ground for a long time have problems with lack of water. This is a dwarf burning bush, which really isn't dwarf. The dwarf in the plant world is like light in the food industry, and you can have a piece of cheesecake that's 1,000 calories, and the light piece is 995, but it's diet food. Just like that in the plant world. This is a dwarf shrub because it only grows 10 feet tall instead of 15. But what I want to show you is a lot of times when plants are under stress, they don't have enough water, they get their fall color. Now burning bushes are notorious for being not drought resistant. So again, you want to do the same thing, take your hose, set it at the base of your tree and give it a little water. One of the things that I really want to stress, because overwatering and underwatering have the same symptoms, and that is leaves turning yellow or leaves drooping. Overwatering and underwatering is really a lack of oxygen in the soil. So before you water, you always want to check. You want to put your hand in the soil and you want to see if it's wet or dry. And if it's totally soaked, then you don't want to water. I've had more people kill plants because they think they need water, and in reality they were soaked. One case I can remember, I stepped on the ball and I sunk up to my knee in mud. And she thought the tree needed water, and it was exactly the opposite. So it's really important to check. But let me stress for you one more time. Sprinkler systems in hot weather will not water your plants. They are designed basically to water the lawn and well-established plants, and they're not designed for extreme conditions. You've got to take a hose and set it on your plants and water it. Also, another point to remember is don't let anybody turn your sprinkler off in August. The plants continue to grow actually into December, the roots. So I usually try and turn my irrigation off in November or December. It won't hurt the system, but it'll keep those evergreen trees growing. In the spring, when you see trees where the top branches are dead, that's because they didn't get enough water in the fall.